The farmers markets are opening for the season, the city has new tools for small businesses, and the Bring Your Own Bag ordinance is getting closer to implementation. All that and more on this edition of Tacoma Report. Hello, I'm Anita Gallagher. The Lincoln Revitalization Project set in motion many initiatives that highlight the area's unique vibe. Stacy Ellifrit has more on the beginning of a project that's working to further shape the district as an accessible destination.
A project that's considered the cornerstone of the Lincoln District revitalization effort is preparing to get underway. After a full schedule of planning and design mixed with community input, work on the Lincoln District streetscape is about to begin.
So work is expected to start on or around the week of June 19th. And the first thing drivers will see will be the electronic message boards on each side of the road on South 38th Street, each side of the project I should say, and they'll let drivers know that work will start within 7 days.
The majority of the work will occur on South 38th Street, between South J Street and South Fawcett Avenue, which serves as the primary corridor of the Lincoln Business District and Mixed-Use Center. Work on two side streets will also occur on South G Street and South Yakima Avenue from Lincoln High School to 38th Street.
The project will be completed primarily in two phases, on South 38th Street anyway. The contractor will start on the south side of the street, and traffic will be pushed to the north side. There'll be 2 lanes of traffic, 1 lane in each direction. Once he finishes the work on the south side of the street, he'll basically flip everything. So the contractor will move to the north side of the street and traffic will move on the south side. Again, there'll be 2 lanes, 1 lane in each direction. And there really won't be any parking within the work zone on South 38th Street during this time.
Work is expected to take place starting in mid-June of this year and running through April 2018. Crews are planning to work 6 days a week, but this schedule depends on weather conditions.
When the project is all finished, it's going to look like a brand new pedestrian environment, a brand new street. The road's going to be repaved between South J and South Fawcett. The 2 side streets will be repaved. There'll be a wider pedestrian environment to walk in. There'll be all new amenities. There'll be safer and more frequent pedestrian crossings. It'll be a completely new environment.
Regular open houses will be held at the Lincoln District Project Office to keep the community and businesses involved with the streetscape from start to finish. For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacy Ellifrit.
To stay up to date on all the activities going on around the streetscape, visit the city's site to sign up for the Lincoln District Revitalization Project newsletter. The city has awarded 24 community groups in Tacoma's 8 neighborhood council districts $100,000 in total grant funding, supporting neighborhood improvement activities or projects through this year's Neighborhood Small Innovation Grant Program. As these projects get underway, we'll bring you updates. Unless you're a student at Tacoma Community College, you may not have ventured inside the gallery on campus to see some of the amazing works of art on display. Tacoma Report's Lane Fickey gives us a look at some of the special exhibitions and rotating collections that you'll get to enjoy when visiting the gallery.
The gallery is located in Building 4 on the Tacoma Community College campus. It's a little hard to find, but well worth the effort. The gallery has been a fixture on the Tacoma Community College campus since it opened in 2002. It holds numerous exhibits each year, including the Student Show, which is currently wrapping up. This exhibit has 200 items from over 100 students. Everything from drawings, ceramics, paintings, sculptures, photography, and printmaking are on display. The small building with its unique shape gives off a warm and inviting presence, and that's important when enticing people to wander inside and become interested in the world of art.
This gives the opportunity to everybody who, all the students are walking around on campus and other people in the community to come and, even if they're scared about art or they feel inadequate about looking at artwork, they can come here in this small space and take it in small doses. And I think the arts, at least in small doses in a gallery like this, are really essential to make us all well-rounded human beings.
For the Tacoma Community College students who are taking art courses and have their work currently displayed, they know how vital it is to have a gallery right on campus.
Generally, it's fairly well received by the students. I think because the majority of students spend most of their time on the other end of campus, may not be in the limelight as much as a obvious more multi-purpose building, but in being sequestered, it provides, I think, an excellent opportunity to just come in here, see some good work, and leave with your thoughts.
It's a really great place to see all different kinds of art. They switch out the themes every once in a while, so you can have different things like brass, photography. It's interesting to see work from both students, teachers, and even local residents.
Another unique aspect is that TCC offers a museum gallery operations program, and this gallery allows students a hands-on space to learn their skills. For Tacoma Report, I'm Lane Fickey.
The gallery is open to the public Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on days when the college is open. More information about the current and upcoming exhibits can be found on the college's website. Artisanal items and fresh seasonal goods are available again at the Broadway Farmers Market, currently in its 27th year of serving Tacoma. The Broadway Farmers Market runs every Thursday now through the end of October. 3 other markets will be opening throughout Tacoma this spring and summer. For a full schedule, visit their website. After the break, I'll be joined by Travel Tacoma's Vice President of Marketing, Jamie Vogt, to talk about the Festival of Sail. Don't miss it. Festival of Sail will be here before we know it, and to talk with us about what we can expect at the event is Travel Tacoma's Jamie Vogt. Welcome to the show, Jamie.
Thank you, Anita.
So let's start with the basics. Can you tell me, what is Festival of Sail?
Absolutely. Well, Festival of Sail is a great opportunity for folks to enjoy not only Tacoma's beautiful waterfront, but to see some amazing ships. So there's going to be more than 20 tall ships. I like to think of them as like the pirate ships with the big sails. And some of them are probably already on their way here.
Wonderful.
So it'll be a really wonderful event. It's a festival type atmosphere, so there'll be music and food and a 6-story tall rubber duck.
Wow, that's incredible. And it's the world's largest rubber duck, is that correct?
It is the world's largest rubber duck, yes.
So when is the event and how many people are you expecting to come out this year?
Well, the event is from June 15th to June 18th, so it'll be a full weekend from the Thursday to the Sunday. And, past events like this have drawn, tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of folks. So we could see a lot of people in downtown Tacoma and along the waterfront that weekend for sure.
That's great, good for tourism here. And where can folks get tickets for the event?
Well, they are available to buy at the event, but I really recommend people buy them ahead of time, and they can be purchased on the website and printed out very easily. And especially if people want to take the opportunity to ride on one of these beautiful ships, then I'd really recommend you get those tickets in advance.
That's a good idea. So how can people get to the event? I assume there's going to be some road closures and whatnot down on the waterfront. So what would you recommend?
Yeah, well, if people are familiar with Dock Street and maybe have been at other events down there, they know that parking is fairly limited and those roads will be mostly closed, but there'll be several options to get to the event. So one option is to take a shuttle. There'll be shuttles from various parking spaces throughout the city. And if people want to do that, I recommend as we get closer to the event, they check the Festival of Sail website to see where those parking spaces are going to be. Some other options are you can walk to the event. If you want to park somewhere at a downtown garage, you'll be able to walk to the event by 15th Street and other ways you might get to Dock Street. So there'll be plenty of options. We're just make sure we keep people flowing in and keep people safe.
Absolutely. So I know you've been working with a lot of local businesses in town to get ready for the event. Can you talk a little bit about the efforts that your committee has been working on to really prepare Tacoma to be a welcoming place for tourists?
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's one thing that Tacoma really has going for it is we are known to be a very open, approachable, and friendly city. So fortunately, there's not a lot of work for us to do there. That is already happening. But we have been reaching out to businesses to let them know that the event is coming so that they can expect maybe more people downtown on a weekend than they might usually see. In other locations, when this festival has happened, businesses have really kind of, embraced it and worn, Mama Deck t-shirts and embrace the whole pirate theme. So that can be a lot of fun too when the community really gets on board with that.
Well, this is great, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks so much for joining me on the show today.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
As we've touched on, the Festival of Sail event is expected to bring significant impacts to pedestrian, vehicular, and marine access along the Thea Foss Waterway, Dock Street, and downtown Tacoma. The city's traffic impacts page also offers information on lane closures and alternate transportation options. Check out the site and be sure to plan your trip before setting sail for the festival. Up next, we'll find out when the annual Taste of Tacoma is this year. Are your taste buds ready for Emerald Queen Casino's Taste of Tacoma? Dave Gordon has the preview on this year's event.
Right now, we're in peaceful Point Defiance Park. But real soon, we're going to be packed full of people. The Taste of Tacoma is practically a tradition in our area. Forget the calories and add on another notch or two to your belt. The Taste is a food-for-all icon.
This year, it's an incredible food and wine festival. Over 250,000 people attend. There's live cooking demonstrations, food vendors, entertainment. You'd be crazy to miss it.
Parking will be tough due to a variety of waterfront improvements around Point Defiance Park, so free shuttles will be available throughout the weekend.
The Taste Express, offered by Pierce Transit, is a free-to-park, free-to-ride shuttle to the Taste of Tacoma from the Tacoma Community College.
Now in its 32nd year, the Taste of Tacoma is again gearing up for some yummy surprises.
This year we have the exciting South Sound Bites. It's a ticketed event where guests at the festival can come and sample 5 amazing tastes from local chefs in the Tacoma region.
The Taste of Tacoma is on June 23rd through the 25th, a 3-day weekend of culinary adventure. Keep in mind this is the Northwest launch into summer with more Tacoma events coming up along the way. For Tacoma Report, I'm Dave Gordon.
For more information on events, foods, vendors, and transportation for the 2017 Taste of Tacoma, check out their website. Tacoma Venues and Events, the managing department for the City of Tacoma's venues, recently announced the rebranding of the Greater Tacoma Convention and Trade Center to the Greater Tacoma Convention Center.
The convention center has been open for about a decade, so we thought it was time to check in with our customer base and our constituency and find out how things were going. Through the course of those conversations, we heard many good things: exceptional service, incredibly experienced team with amazing attention to detail. And out of all of that, we were able to create a wonderfully refreshed brand, basically saying to the community, if you come to the convention center, which is now going to be known as the Greater Tacoma Convention Center, you will be ready for something greater. So if you remember back to your high school math class with the symbols, we have incorporated the greater symbol into what is really a beautiful stained glass concept reflecting, the glass history of Tacoma and of course the beautiful glass that's throughout the building as well.
The freshly updated brand image will enhance marketing and sales efforts by positioning the facility on this more prominent platform. One more thing that's changed: their address is now 1500 Commerce Street. As part of its continued efforts to drive economic growth in Tacoma, the city has added 2 new business intelligence tools on its Community and Economic Development Department web pages, Zoom Prospector and Size Up.
Both tools are an exciting addition to our city's webpage, and they will supplement the great service that we already offer and provide here with our city staff, along with enhancing our overall web presence.
Zoom Prospector caters to the needs of site selectors and investors, while Size Up helps business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs. The tools are available online. The city's Minority Business Development Agency Business Center, in partnership with the University of Puget Sound and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, has brought a special event for small businesses to Washington State for the first time. Tacoma Report's Maria Lee has this story.
This event was designed to help small businesses understand the federal procurement process.
Some of the key things that I've gotten are just some points of contact that I might not otherwise be able to get to. I can find their information on a website, but when you have that chance to make the personal connection, you can say, we met at this event. It pretty much demystifies the federal contracting process.
Some in attendance were new to Tacoma's rapidly evolving business landscape and welcomed the opportunity to network.
This event has really been great in terms of making connections. We're opening our office and headquarters up here in Tacoma, so we recently just came up here.
Working hand in hand behind the scenes to make it all happen were some key players.
It's a pleasure for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to support small businesses throughout the country. And so Tacoma is one of those cities that we're visiting this year, and we are looking for small businesses that can help HHS achieve its mission.
In this region, small businesses are the backbone of our economy. So we always thought it's natural to bring this event to the state of Washington, and especially here to Tacoma.
The City of Tacoma's MBDA Business Center boils things down to this: dream bigger, achieve more. For Tacoma Report, I'm Maria Lee.
To learn more about how the City of Tacoma's Minority Business Development Agency Business Center helps drive Tacoma's economy forward, visit their website or call them. When we come back, we'll get an update on the city's Emergency Temporary Aid and Shelter Program. Phase 1 of the city's three-phased Emergency Temporary Aid and Shelter Program is in full swing. The city recently stood up the first rapid resource pop-up site that brought basic human amenities like toilets, hand-washing stations, and potable water to an existing encampment to mitigate health and safety concerns from the growing concentration of people living in the encampment. The pop-up site will be available for up to 6 weeks as the people living in the encampment prepare to move to one of the city's Phase 2 sites, and the encampment is prepared for cleanup. Besides providing reliable power service, Tacoma Power is also a land steward. Part of the utility's responsibility is to mitigate potential impacts to fish and wildlife around its 7 hydroelectric dams. Tacoma Report's John Phillips shows us how biologists are measuring the impact of their work with wildlife.
The hills above Tacoma Power's Cushman Hydro Project are alive.
And I think it was sensing the camera because it was looking, some of the shots, it was looking right at the camera.
Their job takes Tacoma Power biologists deep into the woods where the utility owns and maintains thousands of acres of wildlife habitat. This infrared motion sensing camera, placed along a well-used game trail, is one of the tools they use.
The cougar are here because the deer and the elk are here.
A periodic check of the camera shows elk, deer, and lots of other critters.
We keep an annual species list for each project, and it just gives us a good idea of what's using the lands.
Providing habitat improvements at Cushman is part of Tacoma Power's license requirement. These biologists try to quantify the efforts.
And so we built a trail right across the top of the ridge here that leads up to our forage fields. And as we were hoping, they took to it quite readily and have started using it.
Tacoma Power created several large forage fields to help increase food sources for the Skokomish Valley elk herd, which has remained small. This year, the elk fields are nice and green. The signs of the elk and deer are all around us, and it comes in the form of poo.
Oh, no, here it is. Another elk.
The biologists use a pellet count along 100-foot corridors of the fields to gain an approximate census.
I've got one elk here, and we are definitely seeing a fair amount of elk use. And when we first came out here, there was very little, and this is just within the first few years, but now we're seeing a lot more evidence of use.
For Tacoma Report, I'm John Phillips.
Fish and wildlife enhancements at Cushman have been ramping up since a new 50-year federal license was issued in 2010. The work and field monitoring will continue throughout the license period. Tacoma Power's pioneering efforts to establish and restore salmon and steelhead on the North Fork of the Skokomish River at the Cushman Hydro Project in Mason County have just been honored with a 4th national award. The National Hydropower Association recently honored the utility with an Outstanding Stewards of America's Waters Award for 2 new fish hatcheries. The hatcheries were recognized for their innovative design and fish rearing management techniques.
Traditionally, they'd use raceways or long concrete structures, and we went to circulars. And one of the benefits of that is that the circulars exercise fish because they're swimming around and around, but it also does a very good job of managing the waste from the food and from the fish that is in the circular for only a few seconds, and then it gets sucked out and put into a disposal so that we could meet the water quality standards that we needed to meet all the way down into Hood Canal.
The new Cushman Fish Program is a key part of Tacoma Power's new 50-year operating license to generate our power at 2 dams. Now that all the fish rearing and capture facilities have been built, biologists are eagerly watching to see how many of these hatchery fish return as adults to complete their life cycle. Starting this July, thin plastic checkout bags will no longer be distributed at Tacoma area stores. Tacoma Report Stacy Ellifrit has more on a resident's perspective on the Bring Your Own Bag ordinance.
A change is coming to a checkout stand near you. Starting July 12th, the Bring Your Own Bag law goes into effect. But how can preventing the use of disposable plastic checkout bags be viewed as important for the community?
Well, I think the bag ban is important for Tacoma because it's a prime chance for us to make a name for ourselves in a positive way, a way that other cities would want to emulate.
This is a welcome change for shoppers who made the switch to bring their own bag long ago.
I've been using reusable bags for years. I can't even tell you how many. And basically the only reason is because I wanted to be a responsible citizen. And I realized how much waste is involved, not only in disposing of bags, but people don't think about the front end and how much waste is involved in producing them. It's a lot of petroleum, a lot of chemicals. And I just thought, you know, it's much more sustainable and responsible to not be generating all that waste.
The city wants residents to be prepared and created a shopper-specific information page set up with useful materials, including tips to remember your reusable bags.
Well, how I remember my bags is really easy. It's the same way I remember my driver's license, my debit card, my keys whenever I leave the house. It's in a place where I keep everything that is ready for me to go whenever I leave. And when I'm done using them, when I unpack them at home, I just put the empty bag right back with the things I'm going to take with me the next day.
Help improve the health of the community and environment by getting into the Bring Your Own Bag habit.
We have other cities around here who are taking this step, who are reducing their own waste costs and making a cleaner environment for themselves. And why can't we have that too? You know, it's time for Tacoma to have some nice things.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacy Ellifrit.
Visit the city's shopping bag site for resources and a list of shopper-focused, frequently asked questions. That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report. A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Until next time, I'm Anita Gallagher.